Yeah. How's it going, sir?
Hey, come on in.
Oh, thank you. Hi. You're never else, Hi, Sadie. You're okay.
All right.
You're okay. Smell my pups. Okay. How's it going?
I'm okay.
Good.
Okay. Come on in.
Had some follow-up and a couple other things we wanted to touch up on.
Yeah, sure.
Now's an okay time?
Yeah, let's come on in here.
Sure. Oh, thank you.
I had the hairy shot on you guys.
Oh, no worries. Puppy. Hey, puppy. You're okay.
Yeah, I think so. Comfortable.
Oh, thank you. I don't remember you from last time.
One of the that's the nice guy. The other one's not so nice.
It seems always it's that dynamic. Like there's an evil one and a good one.
An evil one, like totally adopted Marcy and son, and the rest you can't even get up the stairs without bleeding.
Yeah. Still getting used to these. Still audio and video recording, so. Sorry. I've only used it a handful of times so far. Perfect, so let's see.
I appreciate you guys being good to my kids on the phone. They both had,
of course,
you know, I sent Ted up to his room and he came out and I was just worried about him, you know, but I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course. And are you good with it recording? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So almost in February. It's crazy. How long together?
She, Marcy and I bought her in Goldendale in 2015, brought him back. My mom and I went and picked her up in Goldendale and brought her back. Okay. Surprised the kids when they got up. So. She'll be 9 in October. Third English trainer. Okay. I think that
You like the breed?
I grew up with one, and then we just lost Brooke a little while. 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
That's
it's hard to.
Yeah. Oh, she was my girl. Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons we came back out here, we wanted to follow up. It's typical in these investigations. Sometimes it takes a couple times. One thing we should have asked or talked about last time. Do you still have Marcy's cell phone?
I do.
Would we be able to take a peek at that?
Yes, and I put it in my daughter's room.
Okay.
Got her real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Here's the brief outline if you wanted to.
Okay. I did try to get into it the other day because I was paying bills and all the codes
Gotcha.
to her phone, so I had to contact all my everyone I owe money to every month to get my number and my email attached to it, so she can pay the bills. But I can call my daughter. I know the numbers. I don't know the order.
Gotcha.
And it locked me out, but.
Okay.
Would you like me to call Megan?
If you think she would maybe know the passcode, that would be outstanding.
She's doing laundry today. Everybody does. Hey, sis. Do you remember? I remember the numbers to Mom's cell phone. It was 141320. Okay. Say that one more time. 141320.
Telecsan. You
Okay,
got
I
it.
got it. Okay, thank you, sister. Okay, I love you. Bye. Oh, here's all my Xfinity codes coming through.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, you're welcome.
Sometimes, like, especially now in the age of the cell phone, going through like digital stuff,
Yeah.
just on the off chance, like a text was sent or a message was sent, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, maybe not, but it's one of our investigative steps, if that makes
No,
sense.
that's fine.
Perfect. Good battery. Were you able to get all your bills and utilities
I
switched?
did. I got it
Yeah.
all sorted out, but then excuse me, I went and she would always call me for the codes, so I couldn't understand why they were going to her phone, like our Rocket Mortgage and our the other one. But anyway, that was
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And then one other thing, or a couple other things. As far as the life scan stuff, first off, thank you for sending
Yeah,
that.
of course, yeah.
I know we talked kind of at length about like the heart issues. Just wanted to circle back on that, like the chest pain and stuff that she was feeling.
Yeah. So I thought about it a lot, and she would complain of headaches. She complained of the. I didn't mean to go away from the chest pain. But
No, that's perfect. And then, was there anything in particular? This may be a broad question, but anything, I guess, specific that prompted getting the life scan in December?
No, in fact, to do it in December, we had to schedule. Like right now, we're scheduling for next year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we never. Just knowing she doesn't go in for physicals and all these, I was like, and that this year was the first year it was opened up to spouses.
Oh, okay.
So it was line personnel, spouses, and then retirees, then volunteers, and it was based on how much space was available, how many appointments were available. So I was like, I worked hand in hand with Dan Hammond, who runs the coordination of all that live scan, and I was one of the first ones to sign up and just make sure that Marcy was on that, because my experience the first year was like, man, you knew everything. Like your carotids are clear. I don't have a fatty liver. Apparently, Marcy had a fatty liver, I guess. And I was like, it's just good information. Like cancer prevention in the fire department is huge and for everyone.
Yeah.
But like, man, if I can have this available for her, take advantage of it. It's just through my Viva, it was $650, and so well worth it. It doesn't come out of my pocket, and we can just get it done, and so she did.
Okay. And do you remember when you signed up for that? Because was it like a year ago, or was it like November?
Probably, it was either December of 2022 or
Okay.
January of 23, probably.
Gotcha. So, like, long time before.
Well before the appointment, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that like one of our boss was gonna swing by as well?
Okay.
Do we want to get into this?
Just still moving the way we are. Yeah, at some point we have to.
Okay. Hello. So we were just talking about some of the life scan stuff. And then was that like with benefits at all? Like, did that affect like lower your guys' premiums or
Not at all.
insurance, anything like that?
It's something that's offered through the Northwest Firefighter Trust, and so
Okay.
departments can take advantage of it or not.
Just peace of mind, and it's up to the individual.
Yep, and Dane is, his mom passed of cancer, and so he's taking that on as his mission at the fire department, to help everybody.
Okay. That's awesome. That's what you guys need. So,
Yeah, for sure.
and then we talked a little bit about you and Marcy's relationship last time, and
Yeah.
you mentioned like any relationship, there were some bumps along the way. Are you able to talk to us about those bumps or like when those were?
So in 2015, we were spending a lot of money on my daughter's dance.
Okay.
We didn't have a savings account. She basically, I guess at the time, we couldn't come to resolution on finding the balance. It's always in June when we have to do the, decide how many dances your daughter's going to be in. That includes choreography fees for however, all those dances, costumes are included, all those things, right? And in this, it would always worry me that I don't have money for incidentals, you know, the whatever, hot water heater goes up, you know. And I just wanted balance, and finances were one of the things we had a tough time with.
Okay.
So it wasn't, communication was difficult,
Okay.
right? Our communication model was very much round robin. Sometimes, like, we couldn't talk about just one thing. Like one topic, it would be maybe she would bring something back.
Okay.
Right, and so I would try to get back to just that main topic and find some resolution.
Okay.
I sat her down and the kids and explained that I needed a break, and so I decided that I was going to take my trailer to the conference house, and I stayed there for about, I don't even know the exact amount of time, maybe 20 days or something like that, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. I didn't want the kids to feel like I was not part of their lives, taking them, you know, as coaching Ted's basketball, I was involved in their lives, whatever it was, and driving Megan to dance, or I was involved in Ted's school, or whatever it was, and so I was always around. And she made a really big effort. And so we decided to have couples weekend. We went to the coast. We had a really good weekend. We talked and agreed to have a savings account and to do some of those things. I guess if you know, can I answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have discussion. Nobody's home.
Nobody's. Oh, okay.
Hi, Randy.
Cool. Hang out outside or
Okay.
do it first.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, this is going quicker.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. So we agreed to have a savings account, and you know, moving towards, it didn't change how much we were spending, right? I would go through the year and I would tell her, like, it's always hardest in June knowing what I'm going to spend, but then seeing my daughter dance, it's like all worth it, right? We go to the recitals. She tap ballet, or, you know, hip hop, you know, she did tap. It was like not the common one. Anyway, you know, I always felt bad about talking about money, but what we would do is I had a separate account at Selco in Eugene, and we put money there, and that was incidentals.
Okay.
It was my fuel. I paid mostly all my fuel, so it wouldn't come off our, you know, just trying to have somewhat of a reserve. And then, you know, dance ended this last June. She's a senior, so she was done and off to UW. And we communicated well about, like, we set up, I think it was maybe October, set up a savings account for college and for weddings. We're paying for my daughter's wedding, which is one of the most difficult things we're going through right now because Marcy's not going to be at that wedding. And she was coordinating all of that. Sorry.
Take your time.
to see her. Marcy started working a lot more to help me. I told her that probably in November. We started talking about the fact that I thought our union was going to vote to go to a 4-platoon schedule where I had better days and my overtime would go away.
Okay.
And I said that with my overtime, I would always get about 36 hours a month just covering our Kelly days. And that was something that was a constant that I knew I wouldn't have anymore. And that was a significant amount of money in a year. And so she started working a lot, and basically everything she made, she was paying for Megan's wedding that was due this month in June, or January, excuse me. And we were able to make that payment. It was nearly $8,000. You know, I still have, you know, a little ways to go, right? So I think in December, we decided to do a Parent Plus loan to pay for college. Took out $18,000 to be able to pay for Megan's college. And so that freed up a little bit of money to be able to make that payment in January. But she was making big efforts to be a partner and working more.
Okay.
Mostly she was relieved at the hospital, and we balanced it well.
Okay.
Whole life, so we would never have to have childcare, right? We would just, if I was working overtime, she just wouldn't schedule herself to work. If I wasn't working overtime, she would pick up a shift. So we were really good parents, and we were at that point of having time for ourselves.
Kids out of the house a little bit.
Maybe through every weekend, you know, she's Amtrakking her way down here. Ted's here 1 out of every 3 nights. And we're starting to have just nights where it's just us and we could watch a movie, you know. She wanted to take me to the coast on her birthday. And we were gonna plan that. So my birthday was the 18th, and turned 50, and she wanted to do something. This one.
As far as so outside of 2015, any other like stretches in the relationship where any strain or?
No, I mean, I think maybe early on when we were looking to buy a house, she had Ted, you know, she had some, you know, her, this is going way back, you know, her sexual desires after having her first kid, having Ted, went away. That was temporary. I would run a lot. Like I'd run from 164th to downtown Camas, back and forth to work. I was a runner. But we made it through, you know. It's like, I think the first few years of our marriage were tough. But I don't think we were much different than any other couple.
And these are some uncomfortable questions. You said no one else is here right now? Okay. As far as the medical examiner's office, some of these follow-up ones that we're more or less required to ask, or we need the answers to. Are you able to remember when the last time you and Marcy were intimate?
That night.
That night? Okay. So the 7th, leading into the 8th?
The first night of that.
Okay. And then again, I apologize for the A, making me relive it, and B, the brightness of the questions.
I understand you guys are just like me, and you're doing your job. You know, so.
It's okay. And that night, was it sexual intercourse? Okay.
We got a good, such a good date.
And like I said, if you need a second, feel free. And you mentioned that was before bed. Where was that at in the bed? And then was that before or after she got sick or wasn't feeling well? Before. Then kind of an odd question, but we have to ask, any like rough sex or anything like that? Okay.
No.
At any point in the relationship, rough sex or anything like that?
Just no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And then I think we were, last time we spoke a little bit about like what she would typically wear to bed. And I think we even covered what she was wearing that night, and it sounded like that was pretty typical for her to wear, right?
She would wear a bra always. She had breast implants. So that goes back to like 2005 or 6. Like 2 t-shirts. She was always really cool. He was always hot. She always wore a sweatshirt. Not always. She would sometimes wear a sweatshirt.
Okay.
Sometimes mine, and I couldn't find them. Her leggings, or she really didn't own like sweatpants. It was mostly leggings.
Okay.
Sometimes even socks.
And then again, kind of an odd question, but when we reviewed the photographs, it looked like some of her clothes were like her pants were inside out. Can you think of any reason, like had you ever seen her wear them inside out before, or do you know how that might have happened?
So she was body conscious. She may have put them on in the dark.
Okay.
I have no idea what that would be.
Okay.
I have no idea what that would be.
And if it's leggings, I'd imagine it's probably the same material inside and out.
I'm sure, yeah.
And then you mentioned the bra. Would she wear a bra when she slept even?
Oh, yes.
She would?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Always. And if I remember right, it was something to do with the implants, and it was recommended.
Okay.
And then it was a different kind of, it was like a gel. It was supposed to be more natural, I guess, or whatever. So they said to wear one. She has ever since.
Okay. And then again, kind of an odd question, but it's in our list. Did she ever ask you for like assistance getting dressed or anything like that? Figured that was the answer, but just gotta make sure.
She would, the only thing it had nothing to do with getting dressed. She would have calf cramps, and I'd always jump out of bed and like put her toes to her knee just to get, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I thought about it.
Help stretch.
Yeah, right.
And then sorry to keep bouncing back and forth, just want to make sure I'm hitting all my notes. As far as the relationship goes, did you guys ever have any time periods? It sounds like there was one, was it like 20-day stretch where you guys were separated? Were there ever any, like since you guys have been dating, ever any other instances of either separation or anything like that? Okay. Ever any talk of like impending divorce or like seeking a separation?
We talked about that.
Okay.
But that was back in 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess when did that resolve? Like, was it acute or was it more spread out?
She made a big effort and we went to the beach and we did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 2015?
Probably would have been, maybe it was January of 16. And I remember, I don't know why 2015 is in my head, but it was towards the end of 2015.
Okay. And Lawrence, do you have anything at this point? I got some more, but just wanted to see if you had any follow-up from Wilbur.
No.
Okay, perfect. One other note that we wanted to ask was, as far as when the seizure was happening, moving her off the bed, in reviewing the Washougal body cams, it looks like the light wasn't working. Was it dark in the room at the time?
So this is the weirdest thing because my heat went out, so there was a wire in my thermostat.
Okay.
So that day, it didn't work. We kept touching the screen. It would kick on the fan just by touching it.
Okay.
And then it wouldn't do anything. That night, I don't know when, but it wouldn't turn on. And you'd have to flip the switch and have to use the remote. I ended up taking that ceiling fan down, testing the wires, and I had good power there.
Okay.
I think the fan burned up. So
Gotcha.
the fan's off the ceiling. I took it to the dog. But there's no recessed lighting in that room. So when we bought this house, that was our only main lighting of
Okay.
the bed. I replaced the bulbs. It wasn't the bulbs, and so then I tested the wires, and it was good. But that happened like in that same time period.
Gotcha. So they were simultaneous with the HVAC
And so
issue.
guys were saying, did you guys have a power surge, or whatever? Because I wired my thermostat myself, but it was just, we restripped the wires and put them right back in, and there might have been a little kink, and wondering if a power surge, which I don't know, it wouldn't affect that light, that wouldn't do that, I don't think.
Okay.
Anyway, but
Gotcha. And then I think when you were talking about, moving her from the bed to the floor, do you remember where the end table was, or was the end table there on her side?
yes, it was on her side.
It was on her side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We moved a bunch of furniture because we had her family come out in December and we did carpet cleaning. We're classic procrastinators. The dresser was still in the walk-in closet,
Oh, okay.
So even when I went through her clothes and had the kids pick out what they wanted to keep, I got to move the dresser.
Okay. Where was the dresser at before?
So the dresser was at the foot of the bed.
Okay.
Against that wall, you can see there's like I did some wall repair
Oh,
because
okay.
it was the previous owners had like a TV or whatever. We just had never painted.
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
dresser sat against that wall.
Okay. Perfect. And then we don't have to go up yet, but is the bedroom still more or less in the same like configuration, or?
No, because what I did is the mattress had cat urine stain on it.
Oh, okay.
But I was having a hard time. I want new furniture. So the guys helped me last Monday.
Okay.
Came by. We took photographs. I took photographs of the furniture without the mattress, and then we took apart the frame. I took it up to they all helped me take it up to my buddy Scott's house at his shop.
Mm-hmm.
And my other buddy Jeff is selling on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Whatever. And the Peloton and the entertainment center that was in the other room. Just my daughter's probably gonna move back here with her fiance. I think she gets out of college, and so that big room's gonna be there, so I'm trying to prep that.
Gotcha.
But I needed I needed different furniture. When we bought this house, that furniture came with the house.
Oh, okay.
Along with those bar stools and a dining table and all these other things, and we paid with, at closing, like $1,600 for all the furniture and stuff, and so.
Got you.
We didn't pick it out together, but at the same time, I just need to change.
Sure.
So that's where it's at right now.
Okay.
I found the cat vomited like 8 times underneath the bed, so I have to get a carpet cleaner up there. I've been vacuuming and stuff.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And then moving forward, and again, this is another couple questions that I apologize for, being blunt, but do you happen to know Cynthia? And how do you know her? I guess what's your relationship?
So, I had an affair
Okay.
with Cynthia, and I'm struggling with my choice of doing that. And I knew of her in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. I guess going back, did you meet her like early 2000s, or when did you first?
I met her because she was a Washington volunteer,
Oh, okay.
so that's where I knew her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And as far as like timeline of the affair, when was that happening?
Right now.
Right now? Okay. How long has that been going on?
Like, I talked to her once on Messenger in July.
Okay.
And I didn't see her until late August.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been intermittent meetings.
Okay. And again, we're not here to judge.
It's hard for me because I'm being honest with you on having that affair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of guilt for that. So we have met.
Okay. And prior to messaging in July or August timeframe, had this happened before?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you able to tell us about like when that was or how long ago that was?
It was right after my son was born.
Okay. And
So
Ted,
2004.
okay. So about 2 decades
I
ago.
can't tell you how long. I don't think that was very long.
Okay. And more recently, you said some messaging in July and then August.
I met her. Yeah.
Okay. And where would you guys meet, or how?
I would go to a hotel.
The hotel. Okay. And then, I guess, how long or how frequently has this been happening since then?
Once a month.
Okay. And do you happen to, is her last name Ward?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. And then when you guys were talking or messaging, was that on your phone or like a different means or media?
It was.
Your phone? Okay. Are you guys on like Facebook or anything? All the
I'm not
kids
on
are.
Facebook.
Okay.
No. You're asking what we communicated on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp? Okay. Gotcha. I'm slightly familiar with it. It seems like all the kids and everybody's using something different these days. And I guess more recently, was that you said it was current or ongoing?
It is, yeah.
Okay. And when's the last time you saw Cynthia?
I went down to Shampoo State Park, and we walked her.
Okay. And when was
I'm
that?
sorry, that was not yesterday, the day before.
Oh, okay. And it's, I guess as far as like plans, and I know the last month has been a ton to deal with and process. Have you guys talked about like future or what the plan is now?
You know, there is no plan. Like
That's okay.
sorry, my phone. It was absolutely just simply we're having an affair. She came here. She was here the night you guys were here on last Tuesday. We were in the garage and having a drink when you guys came.
Okay.
And I told her that you guys were here when I went out there, and I told her that I expected, you know, to tell you guys everything about it, you know. And we we're having sex. I mean, and I shouldn't have, but I did.
And your guys' connection, was it, people, it happens for different reasons, right? It's not uncommon. Would you say it was more of like a physical connection, an emotional connection, something different?
I think it's physical connection, and I think it is, you know, you can have an emotional connection, you know. I feel like there probably is an emotional connection. I think she's been a big comfort for me since this has happened. It was a big part of when I went down there. She was helping me. I think it's fair to say, you know, as a friend, I think she's pretty incredible to be able to talk to. I was missing that. Like everyone left Sunday, right? I mean, I had 2 weeks and everyone was here and the house was crazy. And Sunday, everyone left. Finally, the fire department stopped bringing food. Monday was my first day to be here.
Okay.
Chris Castle comes by Monday night. He was on that call, and I think he talked a lot about the call and how hard it was, and I want to make sure the whole crew was okay because I'm their battalion chief and they're suffering. See, I'm going through and knowing Marcy, and it was hard to talk about it. Tuesday, Cynthia came over, talked about that, and to just like maybe have, you know, and then not any fault of you guys came by to do the work. I had to say it again, you know, go through all that. But you know, Mondays when I took my daughter back to Seattle, walking the dog was one of the best things I did. It's like being outside.
All right, if you get done playing, we'll get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the day and the week, and so we'll resume in Monday. Close your notepads and leave them there on your chairs.